Let's start with the fact that the world of aviation delights some and scares others, but it definitely does not leave anyone indifferent. And all this is because people have always dreamed of the opportunity to fly and conquer the expanses of the sky. In this episode, get ready to witness flawless takeoffs and landings, as well as fascinating cases involving aircraft and aircraft that were captured on camera by lucky chance. First of all, subscribe to our channel and like this video. Folk wisdom says that when precipitation is not expected, you can witness a lot of skydiving fans in some places. To board an aircraft carrier, it is necessary not only the skill of the pilot and the serviceability of the aircraft, but also for the aerial finishers. Those are steel cables stretched across the deck. You also need a team that controls this extremely complex and dangerous process. This military transport aircraft knows exactly where to get rid of excess cargo. Despite the fact that the payload of this helicopter is 20 tons, it managed to lift a 28-ton aircraft into the air. It is curious when the pilot was going to work in the morning, whether he assumed that today his task would be to land the helicopter on a huge rock in the mountains. This football match turned out to be really unforgettable, but the fans were not impressed by the game. This wonderful show was the real gem of this day. The B-52 Spirit bomber is one of the most expensive aircraft in history. A huge crowd gathered to see it with their own eyes. The Aviation Show is a bright and memorable event where you can admire the wonders of technology, the skill of pilots, and creative solutions. It's hard to believe your eyes when you watch this military transport helicopter. Can something so heavy be so maneuverable? For sure, many people would like to see the wonders of pyrotechnics live at the festival in Switzerland. Given that the aircraft carrier is located far from land, this is one of the most common ways to deliver or pick up cargo from it. You can watch such videos a lot of times and still, this trick will not cease to amaze you. Today, helicopters are actively used in search and rescue operations. They regularly demonstrate their effectiveness in the most difficult situations. This helicopter arrived to help a tourist who was injured in the mountains and could not move. Probably such a beautiful aviation show was very distracting to passing drivers. The exam flight turned out to be even more difficult than he thought. In flight, the aircraft's landing gear failed, and yet the pilot managed to land safely.
Gonna try to pull the right, so when that left main touches down, right main touches down. A beautiful job, Maggie. You got a whole bunch of people clapping for you up here. So just make sure you shut the mags off, shut the master off, and get out of the aircraft and wait.
The fire department often uses a helicopter in emergency situations. This time, it needed not only to participate in the rescue operation, but also to get water from the nearest pool.
To be honest, I'm speechless after witnessing it. What about you?
The tail rotor of the helicopter carrying Bolivian President Evo Morales broke off in the air. Fortunately, the pilot managed to make a safe emergency landing of the aircraft. Even considering that this is a radio-controlled model of an airplane and there is no one on board, it is scary to watch it fall. Usually the main danger for parachutists is landing. In this case, it was also necessary to avoid a collision with the plane from which they had jumped just a few moments ago. Landing a helicopter on an aircraft carrier's pad in a storm is a task for the bravest and most experienced pilots. You can not only feel the speed and force with which the fighter flew, but also see its consequences. Many people prefer helicopters to airplanes for their impressive maneuverability and ability to hover in the air. The world of aviation has a set of clear rules, but when the situation is unusual, the captain has to be guided by knowledge, skills, and common sense. People love watching airplanes and helicopters flying in the sky, so why wouldn't the pilots greet their fans? One can get used to good things quickly, and this bull is definitely delighted with such a way of transportation. The Belgian Air Force conducts exciting courses for advanced training. They know for sure that they can trust each other, otherwise none of them would have agreed to such a trick. We must pay tribute to the pilot. He was able to stabilize the aircraft. The Dassault Mirage 2000 flies so gracefully that you could watch it for hours. Aerial refueling is never performed by civilian vessels precisely because it is the most difficult element of piloting.
If you want to switch to something else, don't be hurry. Something truly interesting is just about to begin.
The speed of the fighters is so great that the plane seems to evaporate water behind it. Most likely, this is the closest possible distance at which you can safely observe the landing of the aircraft. Not only the propeller of a helicopter, but also an airplane can create an optical illusion when the frame rate coincides with the speed of the blades. The emergency landing forced the pilot to land not just on the road, but on a busy roadway. It is unlikely that car drivers were happy about such a situation. The blood runs cold from such a sight, even though the fuselage of the aircraft has a protection system in case of lightning. Such an aircraft costs millions of dollars. In order to make a vertical landing, the pilot must be confident in his abilities and have steel balls. The speed of this plane is so incredible that even if you blink once, it will disappear in an unknown direction. The football match started with a fantastic spectacle. However, it is worth noting that the planes flew too low, as a result of which the pilots were punished. The F-22 fighter plane is called a bird of prey for a reason. It is famous for its maneuverability, speed, and the ability to fly at high altitudes. And this is why helicopters will be used more and more often in various industries in the future. As you can see, they have already become the best assistants for their rescue operations. It turns out that helicopters don't have to land to refuel either. Fire aviation always shows its high efficiency in the most difficult situations of extinguishing forest fires. Parking problems happen not only to car drivers. A series of mistakes by ground staff and pilots led to the collision of two aircraft.
Looks like it. I knew it was gonna happen. It looked like it. Yeah, it hit the other plane. No way.
The fighter caught fire while trying to land on an aircraft carrier. The pilot had to eject, after which he was evacuated using a military helicopter. Watching them, you feel the power and enjoy the beauty at the same time.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. No nose gear. No nose gear. There we go. There we go. Jesus. Come on. Yep. No nose gear. Here we go. Oh, yes.
It is a pleasure to watch fighter planes at aviation shows, but their appearance creates confusion and causes alarm in everyday life, especially if it flies at an extremely low altitude just a few dozen meters from people. If the frame rate coincides with the rotation frequency of the blade by 360 degrees, then the camera captures the same picture every time, so it seems that the blades remain in place. It is unlikely that the passengers noticed that the plane had landed. The landing of this aircraft was really soft. Ejection seats have saved the lives of thousands of pilots, but the mechanism of their operation remains imperfect. Ejection increases the chances of survival, but unfortunately does not guarantee it. Who would have thought that the helicopter's payload capacity could allow it to transport such bulky and heavy luggage? Helipads cannot suddenly become a runway. Nevertheless, this pilot experimented and managed to use this platform for takeoff and landing of a light engine aircraft.
Have you also noticed that our time together flies at the speed of light? We can't wait to see you in our next episode. See you soon!